What is a Google MyMap? What can I do with it, and why would I use it? A Google MyMap is different than Google Maps and Google Earth. Google Maps and Google Earth allow you to respectively go into Street View and 3D View. They do allow you to create tours that you can share and share a link to, and people then can follow. But the great thing about Google MyMaps is that one, it connects to your Google Drive, which gives it all the functionality of all Google Drive files, specifically sharing capabilities with collaborators. But it also saves to your Google Drive, which makes it very easily accessible. So, the unfortunate reality is that Google My Maps does not have an app like many of these other things you can easily access. Even up here in the Google apps that you can scroll down to even find more of, going to the bottom of all the Google products, My Map does not exist down here. Google Maps does, Google Earth does, but not Google My Maps. So for our purposes, we are going to go and search My Maps. Lo and behold, the first option is Google My Maps. Go ahead and click on that. Since you're already signed in as a Google user, you are going to come to this dashboard. You will not see these maps. These are not templates. These are owned by me. Your dashboard will be blank, and you're going to create a new map. Go ahead and title your map whatever you would like. There you can add a description. And go ahead and save. In the 3 vertical dot menu button, you can create a new map, copy this map, open an old map, move this one to the trash, embed this on a site, for instance, which we'll do down the road. I'll show you how to do that down the road, and also how to even print the map. Let's drop down to our gray tabs here. This one is preview. This allows you to see what your viewers will see. If you click on that now, you'll notice nothing. There's nowhere for your viewers to go, no places in this navigation pane that you have added for them to click on and go and view. So for right now, we're still in the editing stage. The share button, Google always gives you 2 sharing options. Who do you want to share with to actually work on something? And who do you want to share with once you've to allow to view this? Do you want this restricted to only people? Maybe you're going to create a My Map for your trip to Europe, share it with your family and friends. Or maybe you want it public because you want all of your students this year and next year to see it. If you're going to create a map that you're working with colleagues, maybe going on a business trip, or students working together in groups to build a map for a chapter, they can all add each other's names here, share it, and they will be able to work on this together. And then there's the Add Layer button. So let's take a look at what that is. I'm going to use a map that has been shared with me and I have manipulated for myself to give you an idea of what those layers look like. So I'm going to come up to this tab. I'm going to open a map. I'll open my World War II timeline map. Now, nothing is different here than what you have. You have your title, you have your description. The only thing that's different is that I have already added layers. Now, before we get into the layers, let's drop down to the very bottom here, the base map. If I hover over this tab, it says change the style of the base map. You have a few different options here. You can look at just a general map, the satellite, which we were just viewing, or a terrain map. And then there are several variations of other maps. For now, we'll stick with satellite. Up here is where you have some different tools to use. Undo and redo, your grabbing pane. You can drop a mark anywhere you'd like, or you can search for a place. And also then the drawing line. We can add directions, which I never really use with my students, but they also have a measuring distance in areas, which is very helpful when you're trying to track Napoleon on his trip to Moscow. But for now, let's focus on our layers. Now for you, go ahead and click on Add a Layer. You can see I already have several, 1939 to 1940. Remember, we're in World War II. 41 to 43, 44 to 45, and then concentration camps. If I were to click on all of these, you'll see all the things that have been added that you can see. I'm going to uncheck these for now, though, and we'll focus on your untitled layer here. Go ahead and title your layer whatever you would like. For me, I'm going to show you some things that happened in China during World War II that often gets overlooked. This is the Chinese-Japanese conflict that began before World War II even started, called the Sino-Japanese War. But we'll call this the Sino-Japanese World War II. Now, there's nothing here yet. I'm going to add 2 places just for this tutorial. First place is Nanking. Today it's known as Nanjing, but back at the time it was known as Nanking. And here, terrible atrocities took place. I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus sign that says Add to the Map. Now make sure only this layer is checked. If you have more than one layer checked, it's going to add symbols that look like that and also pop up during those layers, which you don't want. This isn't a concentration camp, so when you click concentration camps, it shouldn't pop up. So make sure only the layer that you want this to be under is checked. We're going to add this then to the map. Now there are several things we can do here. For me, I usually remove the details from Google Maps, but for some of you it may be helpful. Next, I'm going to click on this paint can that allows me to edit the style. I can change the color of my place mark and also the icon of it. I'm going to keep the red, but I'm going to click on more icons, and I have a whole list of things to choose from. I'm going to click on the skull because it was a major area of atrocity. I can go ahead and edit this, the name, and maybe even add a description. Terrible atrocities. And even a photo. So I'll type in Japan and Nanjing, and can't see these well enough to know if they're appropriate, but we'll go ahead and add that, Japanese in Nanjing. Save that. Now I could get directions for this, but I don't need that, or trash it, but I like it, so I'll leave it. So Nanjing has been added. I'll add one more, a city called Harbin in northern China. Harbin was also the site of a major concentration camp created by the Japanese. I'm going to remove, now I'm going to add this to my map. I'm going to remove the Google details. I'm going to keep the color, but come down to my same icon that I've been using. And that's that. I'm going to edit this as Harbin. And I'm also going to call this Unit 731, which is the name of the concentration camp that was built here, which later came to be known as the Asian Auschwitz. Now I can add a photo. Now this is on my layer as well. So let's zoom back out to our map of the Earth. And now we can begin to see this layer pop up. Now, we have used all the tools, we have added layers, we've talked about sharing. There's one other thing I want to show you that you can do with MyMaps that I think is good for all students, no matter what level. And excuse the morbidity of me using this as an example, but we're going to trace out the grounds of Auschwitz. Now you can use this for any number of things. I've used this to trace out the Forbidden Palace, the Palace of Versailles, the area of Gettysburg. You can use this for any number of things. But maybe we want our students, when we're talking history, to understand, see the area of these concentration camps. So I'm going to come here to Auschwitz-Birkenau in Poland. And I'm going to zoom in, and maybe you have your students look up images of the grounds of Auschwitz, how big this place was, how many buildings there were, and here you can see Auschwitz. And then maybe you have them go to their maps and begin to outline these. So you can add a line or shape, driving, biking, walking route. We're just going to add a line or shape. And now you can use this cross to begin to outline whatever you would like. The first thing I'm going to do is uncheck this, and we'll go ahead and save. Now what I'm able to do then is change the color here. But we want something that stands out so that our viewers can notice it. Now we'll edit this. We don't want to call it polygon 25. We'll call it Auschwitz borders. Go next that out. You can see it's been added down here to your concentration camp template or pane. Let's go ahead and zoom back out now. Now, from afar, it doesn't look like much, but then as your students begin to zoom in, they'll be able to see exactly where Auschwitz was and the site of it, the size of it within the city. So that's a tool that you can use as well. And then you can even begin to check out how far away are these concentration camps with our distance tool. Go to this next one, 36 miles from one to the other. It's not very far. So anyways, different tools that you can use in Google MyMaps. Now, we have created our map, right? Zoom out. We have all the things done. We have our layers added, our places added. I want to see all these. And now we want to preview this. What are our viewers going to see? And now this pane is much more filled in. And now what they're able to do is they, as viewers, can toggle this. I want to know how the war began. So here are the beginning things. March, let's go to September 1st. Germany invades Poland. There's 10 more you can go through. Let's come to 45. Zoom out. A lot of surrenders happening here, but something else happening over here. U.S. drops first ever atomic bomb on Hiroshima. So this is what our viewers are going to be able to see and play around with. See all these different things, different layers, different places, concentration camps, Japanese, whatever you want to see. Now, go back to edit this. And the next thing we want to do is we want to put this into our website for our students or our customers and clients to be able to view, whatever it is. So come down to where it says embed. So you're going to go to where the title is, click on the menu tab, You're going to come down to embed on my site. Sorry, first you need to come to share. Sorry, forgot that we have our restrictions. We're going to anyone with the link. Done. Okay. So now we're going to come up to the menu, embed on my site, and you see it gives you the code here. Just go ahead and Control C. Okay. Now go to wherever your website is. I have one set up already, World War II. We're going to click on the Insert tab, and then we're going to click on the map. Or I'm sorry, we're going to click on Embed. You already have the embed code. This is not a URL, it's an embed code. Control V to paste, and click Next. And now your map is ready to be inserted. I'm going to change the background. I'm going to move this into the center. And I'm also going to stretch it out. Well, maybe not, because I just want one Earth to be visible. Although, I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Okay, that's good. But we want this to be in the center. And just can't get this centered. All right, well, now it keeps shrinking on me. Okay. Apparently it wants to be in this box. Anyways, so now it's embedded on your site. Let's go ahead and click on the preview. So this is what it will look like in your website. So here's the map. You can click on this tab, and then they can toggle with all the different layers. I just want to see, and they can zoom right in here. You can allow them to go full screen. Back to your website. So now we've embedded it that way. Now here's another option that you could use. Let's say you're messing around, you forgot to get the embed. You can come down here and click on Map and choose MyMaps, and this connects directly to your Google Drive. Click on what you want to add, and you have the same thing. So again, depending on whether you want to embed it or just add a map, this is how you get it onto your website. So anyways, that's all of the things for MyMaps, how to add layers, how to do the drawing of lines, measuring things out, placing markers, and also embedding it into your website, and all the amazing things you can do. Thank you for listening.